both problem 1A and problem 2. So welcome to House Guides 1.
Hi everyone. My name is Harold Walbert. I am a manager at Guidehouse. We're a consulting firm. I have Stephanie and Cece with me right here, and we decided that we would tackle the question 1A. One of the things that we saw between question 1A and question 2 was the data that we had available. If people talked earlier about the data we had and the data that we did not have. We know that there is a set of housing in Fairfax County that has had adjustments made, maybe high toilets, it may be ramps, maybe wheelchair accessible, but we know that this stock is not large enough to meet the needs of all the people in Fairfax County. And so one of the things that we wanted to do is try to figure out a way, try to understand how we could take not only the existing data that we have from publicly available sources that we have available in this hackathon, but then also connect it to data from private owners and then also source it from on the web, maybe by web scraping and connecting individuals as well, and creating one centralized database that will allow the folks in Fairfax County to actually see what we have available. Right here. So that's just to kick it off. I'm going to let Stephanie and Cece take over the next couple slides, and then we're going to also have a demo as well.
Yeah, so we start out with the current situation and the pain points, and we interviewed lots of guides, other person. We can see on the demand side, the people who needs accessible house, they are the demand is far outweigh the supply, and the lake is a comprehensive centralized resource, to finding where I can apply it. Right now, it's only they join the waiting list, or they just searching random online, Googling is Zillow, or a different source. They don't have a centralized source to looking for that. And also some units county provide to the individuals. They contact them and they are in the waiting list for months or even years. But when they counted them, they find the features for this unit is not properly match their needs, even some distance with their working place or distance from grocery or families. And for the existing housing supply, right now is our county, they are lacking information for the on the private and non-profit organization housing resources. Right, and they also have insufficient data on the applicants, which will better connect them with the units. They only know they are what kind of a disability they have, but sometimes the other features, what I talking, the distance of the work, or some unique demands for the grab, grab bar on in the bedroom, something like that. And they will have some request when they live in the unit. They will have request to add additional modifications, and they will sometimes the people they can find it very much exactly match individuals, which the features in the unit accessible house is exceed the needs of the renters. So next page. So we build a system. This is a system architecture we are trying to build. Right now we have the county owner empowerment resource. So we're adding the private owner, non-profit owner, and the web scraping data. This is a different data source, and we try to put in a centralized database using the user-friendly website, and it will more improve during the system. It will improve the matching accuracy and the speed, and also the applicants will fill their request or searching on the website, there's two ways. I'll explain later. Like they can fill the apps in the waiting list, or they can like just searching in for from like the data we're getting from the web scraping data, and also some private owners like house data in the system. And based on the centralized database, we can we can based on the user's behavior, like what is the terms they are using or features they are trying to searching in the searching engine, and the match result, like the first thing doing the matching things, we can like doing data analytic basis, structured data, and this data analytic result will help to improve the feature improvement for the website, which like you can have more correct features on the landlord side to upload, and which will easier for the applicants to search, and also like it also have like enough data for the government to doing the next step, like when they want to have more fundings to invest to the county owner property, and then they can like build some standard accessible house, like what kind of the features is most needs, and based on the demanding they build the next house, or they can like modify the current one, and it will save more money.
Thanks, Cece. So going into the data input aspect, so we're envisioning sort of four different user definitions, each having their own inputs and interfaces, and then that data will then be appended and merged into the central database. So we've laid out expanding upon the structure that you mentioned just now. The property owners will have the opportunity to enter in information about their available housing, and this could be uploading through the county data that we already have, as well as nonprofit organizations and private owners, and that's what we'll actually demo in a second. And within that, they have the opportunity to check each field that is applicable in terms of the accessible features of their housing units. Prospective applicants will have an ability to apply for a wait list, and within that, they can describe sort of the modifications that they require for their housing and what they're interested in. Renters will eventually have the ability to go in and search for available housing and filter based on the requirements that we're collecting from the private and public owners of the housing. And then we'll also have the ability to pull and web scrape information from publicly available data, and that could happen on an reoccurring basis automatically, and that could then be fed back into the central database. So we'll switch over to the demo.
Okay.
Let's see if I can.
Sure.
So focus, since there was yesterday from talking to everyone, there was a lot of focus on how the demand far outweighs the supply. And for the sake of time, I'll quickly breeze through this demo, but we're collecting information from the public and private housing owners, and they have the ability to kind of go in and enter in information about their home, spanning from basic characteristics to bedrooms and bathrooms. And then we collected all the features that we saw, the modification requests that were made in the open data. So you can go in and select, my house has, in-house elevator, it's a first floor unit, etc. And then we're also collecting information about the unit status and whether or not the leasing price is a fixed base price or an income-based price. So once the user submits the information, they'll be notified that it's submitted, and that is then appended and merged into the central database. And so each person can access this website and enter in their information. So going back to then just this slide basically goes through sort of details about how we want to build out the other interfaces for the other features and the users, including the waiting list for programs as well as the user interface for searching.
So the future features we might build is some like backend technologies. It's like searching engines which tracks the user behavior, helps improve the feature definition. Also some matching algorithm like the team one talking about is which can improve the have a better connection. And also like the data analytics dashboard can provide the government like the counties to all some like the user behavior demand and marketing proportion right now, like try to even the supply and the demand both sides. Like, and also we can expand this system, including like the homeless, displaced, and the elderly populations, which we can like add more portals for them to apply, and like more like in the nano side we can provide more more house for this kind of version. That's it. Thank you.
So I really liked your repository wizard. I thought that was great. Have you thought about other sort of fields that you could add to that to allow for more data or differentiation between properties?
Absolutely. So right now, I mean, this was the basic solution was we know we have a limited data set. We want to make that more robust. And so you're exactly right. We have that input. We also web scrape. There's certain fields that are going to be available. For example, we developed a web scraper that's going to add to this database. It scrapes all the information about wheelchair accessible homes from Craigslist. This is added into the central repository. Private owners can come in or landlords can come in and add in the tool that we just saw. There's going to be necessarily like limited information coming from some places, but we're going to have a wealth of information in others. We would certainly be open to expanding this list or you know, modifying it to make it more applicable for the needs of the county.
But you talked about, go ahead, Matt.
I was just going to see if you could scroll down. So
Yes,
you see some of the other
kind of sped through that.
features that you selected.
And users have the ability to go in and edit before they submit, so it's pretty user-friendly in that regard. And we want to collect information on kind of within the waiting list portion, you know, depending on kind of common things that come up as demands, we can then kind of inform the features that we're asking about within this interface.
Thank you.
You talked about the demand and the supply. What's this? Let's just talk about Fairfax County. What's the scale of the supply right now and the scale of the demand? Give me a sense of numbers.
So there were 3 specific data sets that we saw yesterday that we were given that we had access to look at. One of them looked at the stock that was available right now that had these modifications available. And when the things that were open or going to be open soon, I think there were only 4 lines in there. The overall data set was a bit larger, but stuff was already taken. Now, I could be corrected. Maybe there's more updated data. So in terms of the supply and the data set that at least we had access to, it was very small. So we want to expand that so that we're not just getting the stuff that's available through the government programs in the county, but we're expanding it to the private owners, to individuals who would be willing to rent that have these things as well. But based on the data that we saw that we had available yesterday, the supply, at least in the data set, was quite low compared to the
that's
needs.
one of the critical problems, right? We don't know
Right.
the supply. So how do you propose to build that database? How do you propose to get the supply if you can't find it right? Well, I mean, tell me how you think you're going to get it and how long it will take.
I think some of it probably already exists, but we need to aggregate that information into one place. So one example is a web scraper we built on Craigslist. It takes and looks at the first X number of pages on Craigslist where we know that it's handicapped accessible, it's wheelchair accessible, and then it goes and it pulls out the information from there. Where is the location? Is it in Fairfax County? How many bedrooms? And then what we could do in the future is actually start to do natural language processing on each one of those links to pull out specific features that may not be listed in there. So I think building it, I think there's a lot of information out there, and we just need to find a platform to aggregate it and then connect people that have it to the people that need it.
it wasn't clear to me, do you see this as a tool that, for example, Fairfax County would build and maintain, or is this something that's basically private sector, third party, buy, sell platform?
I would guess Fairfax County since we're here.
And
But
if
I don't mean to be flippant, but I don't know.
Is this something that the private sector does, or is this a tool that you would envision being within the department?
I do think it would be within the department. I think it could be a useful thing to make that database available for government. I do.
And I think that we'll have more buy-in from the users to input their information because, having the government be the person responsible or the entity responsible would provide more incentive for them to enter their information.
Also, because there's some weakness, there's some sensitive data, so it's not good for the private owners to have it. Like we have some ranges based on the income. Maybe that is not good for the private owner to have it, like private sector to have that.
Well, let me just challenge you on that. If you do want the government to be the owner of this, and you're scraping off of Craigslist, how are you going to assure that the government can stand behind the data?
That's like the future features we want to put, because we have some algorithm to scraping the data. Also, we can improve in the data analytic part. We can improve for the data cleaning, automatic cleaning, and it will go directly to the database. So when people want to using a searching engine, like the applicants, like using a search engine to search that, it might be not like the public owners, they have all the the exactly address it is, or all the exact data, but they still can find something like in which area the house it is, and we still can calculate the distance with the working or the family or grocery what they are really want to the distance, and also the rent. Some people may be affordable for the rent, the private owners putting on the Craigslist, and that we have the option. That's why we have the fixed rent option for them to searching that.
Thank you guys so much. Okay, this is our last team that's presenting. Welcome to House Guide number 2.
Yes.
That was right.